J.D. Hayworth joins us, of course, former Congressman for the great state of Arizona, and most importantly, perhaps, a host of Newsmax Prime, which you see every night, Monday through Friday, right after this show at 8 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax Television. Welcome back, sir.
It's great to be with you, Steve.
Well, great to talk to you. Something I didn't get, I'd like to get your opinion on. I talked about it with Pat. You a Prince fan? This is kind of shocking news. I mean, even if you're not a big fan, you know, anytime somebody that famous and talented at 57 years old, supposedly a health fitness nut, dies, it's kind of a shocker.
Well, that's my age, you know, and Prince, I think the more people find out about him, regardless the cause of death, I think people will be surprised to look beyond the stereotypes of the entertainment world. So we're going to learn a lot more about Prince, sadly, based on his demise, but obviously a great talent and someone who politically stayed away from the spotlight, perhaps because a lot of folks say he was a conservative Republican.
Yeah, and you know, I remember when he changed his name to, as I used to like to pronounce it, because he just had a symbol. There was nothing. It was just like a line, and I used to get a kick out of trying to say his name at that point. All right, let's talk a little bit about what also I brought up with Pat Boone, and that was Trump's statement today, sitting on the set of the Today Show, and asked about the North Carolina transgender bathroom issue, and you know, he gave the wrong answer for conservative ears, certainly.
That's absolutely the case. And I will tell you that what is interesting, though, about the Trump campaign, when he stepped out earlier on border security, he was so strong on that. When he has just decided to be strong on some signature issues, it seems that many within the conservative community, quote, forgive him on other points of view he may have. But again, I'm struck about, and I'm going to be charitable about this, just how spontaneous his responses seem to be. He does not apparently sit down and go through any media coaching. And again, this may be so contrary to what we have seen in people running for public office that even with the answers that conservatives don't like, they go, well, at least he's calling it the way he's seeing it, and it's a breath of fresh air. But it will be interesting to watch to see if this comes back to haunt his campaign, as other statements over the past few weeks have caused some problems for him.
Yeah, and of course Ted Cruz naturally doing the right thing by harping on it. I don't want to run out of time ever before asking you what's on your show tonight at 8 p.m. right after this show.
Well, tonight we will continue to monitor this campaign, the twists and the turns, and the one effective argument that Donald Trump continues to use, which deals with the fact that he claims the RNC process is, quote, rigged. People may have different ways to describe it, but that is one smart political strategy being used by Donald Trump, and we'll talk more about that tonight on Newsmax Prime.
Yeah, and that is smart because it recreates an issue. It makes him the sympathetic figure, the underdog figure, and people are outraged. And if nothing else, really, people are finding out that it's not as they thought it was on either. We knew the Democrats always had superdelegates, but I always thought it was a little fairer that the people had more of a direct input on the Republican side, but in many instances, obviously, it's not.
Well, there is such a populist groundswell that it is changing the conservative movement. Many have said this may be an election that just realigns us politically for years to come, and certainly Mr. Trump is one who is a catalyst for all of that, and it's as if the traditional formula of those who have run for public office in the past, especially the presidency, you can just tear it up in little pieces and scatter that to the wind. This is something altogether different.
Absolutely. JD, we look forward to seeing you in a little while. Thank you for joining us again, and have a great rest of the week, sir.
You betcha. Thank you.
All right. Your call's coming up next, folks, at 877 Newsmax.